Good morning, people. This is going to be a short and sweet sort of day. Started out actually looking at the screen at 8:58 in the morning, but it was moving really slow. If you look at the peak here to the drop, that happened over about a 2-hour period. So it's like really, really, really slow. And I think the reason is if you look at the Fibonacci lines that I drew out, we're right at that peak. It has gone up and broken through the resistance level, and we are really, really, really close to that Fibonacci line at 878. So it's like really close. So I ended up putting an alert in right here, just so I didn't miss it. And it was kind of creeping up, but then it was hesitating and then creeping up a little bit more and hesitating. And I was waiting for it to kind of get up to that point and then drop. And so I just didn't trade for a long time. Here we go. Came really, really close. This is one tick below it. And then it finally hit it and actually went one tick above it. And kind of formed a doji and then a red candle. And I thought, I bet this is a pretty good opportunity to get in a short. But it's going to be a very short term sort of short, very small. So I put in an order for a short here, got filled, and it did drop quite a bit. I had to wait. Let me go back to that last slide. I put the order in about 9:19, so I had to wait a little over 10 minutes for it to drop that far. And finally, as soon as opening bell opened, and it went and dropped below my exit order, which was set at $100 profit. So it dropped below that point before it filled. So I actually made 150 on that first trade. And then as I kind of expected, it started to bounce. This is the first bouncing point. This is the highest point at the 2000 tick chart, the 20 SMA. It is possible that it will drop down a little bit further. So I'm kind of watching it. But there is so much upward momentum that I would not be surprised if it does that at this point. So I put in an order to get in a long at this point, and the MACD is still really high. It's a little bit concerning, but like I said, the upward momentum I think is pretty strong. The fact that it got it all the way up to there, at least it's going to get up to that line again and test that. That's my theory at this point. So I got into a long and put an exit order in right at that the Fibonacci line that I had there. And it took a few minutes, but it did start zipping up that direction. And now the MACD looks like it's turning. So it's looking good. It actually went above my order before it filled, which was kind of cool. So on my second order, I made, I can't remember how much, but over $200. All right, and then at this point, this is kind of an interesting trade because it looks like it's hesitating and ready to drop again. But that was so decisive of a break through the Fibonacci line there. And the MACD is looking like it just crossed. So at that point, all of a sudden, things start getting exciting and changing and people get in orders. And I don't know, it's a little hard to get filled actually. So I put in an order down here at 58.80.25 and didn't get filled. So I raised up my order to 58.83, still didn't get filled. Finally, it did drop just below that. And you can see there's still a strong upward momentum going on here. And if you look at the longer term charts here, the 15 and the 30, which is, I know, not real long, but you can see pretty serious upward pointing on the MACDs that you see here. So even though it's really high right now, everything is really, really high and maxed out, I do think there is a lot of upward momentum yet to be had. So being in a long at this point is not a bad thing. Okay, just for funsies, I put in a shorter term Fibonacci line here. You can see the bottom here, and then it peaked, and then it dropped down to this point. And so it kind of laid out another grid. And it's not exactly what we see going on with the price action, but it is close, I guess. And we have broken through the 61.8%. I could see it getting up to 58.91, that area today. So here I'm in a long position. It's gone up, And it's hard to tell here, but it did seem to, like, I don't know, it was struggling to get up a little bit further, and it is kind of leveling out. These last few candles have kind of leveled out. So I was a little bit concerned that perhaps it was going to be dropping from this point. So I went ahead and just placed an exit order in here, which is, a fairly small trade compared to what I normally do, and got filled. And that put me at 462.50 with 3 trades. When it's all said and done, I actually only made $4.49 when you take out the commissions. Not bad. That's actually I'm really happy with that. And I ended up trading. I didn't take the time that I had over here that's showing when I actually placed my first trade, because I sat there and watched it for so long before I actually placed that trade. I started watching it this morning about 8:58, and I ended at 9:38. So just under an hour of trading, about 40 minutes. So anyway, thanks for joining me.